What are you doing? Get out here!
Backyard Central. One of these mornings, let's grow.
Coming in at 8 feet tall. Look at this monster. This is a mess. This guy is the real deal. Take a look at all this new growth. Winter, for the most part, was really warm, so we got a whole bunch of growth. But all these can be cuttings or just letting them grow. You really don't want any of this down here. Everything you want above the top. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down here and cut these off. Cut these off. All these can be cuttings for new, like whole new plants if you want them to be. I don't even know what's wrong with that one. Like it's growing in a circle or something. But it's all about energy with these guys. This is just wasted energy. And so maybe we'll cut these and make new plants or just fodder. And I'm going to cut that guy too to get more growth at the top. But nothing should be growing at the bottom. Anytime you mess around with these guys, you really want a nice pair of leather gloves because those spikes hurt. You gotta get some disinfectant spray for the snips. You want to keep things clean, and then of course get your favorite pair of snips. Let's get started. Alright, so all this, so these little cuttings down here, what you always want to do is come in and cut right at the node, right at the arm, and I can plant this and grow a whole new plant. You really don't want anything at the bottom, it's just wasting energy. You want all the energy to be forced into either new growth or into making buds. And it comes kind of unruly, so you're just going to take all these, cut them at the arms, and decide what to do with them later. Look at how big and healthy these guys are. These would make for good new plants. So this is where you want to really cut those tips. You're either going to force buds or you're going to force new growth. Look at that, it'll branch out to 1, 2, another 1, number 2, or number 3. Different branches from that. But all that extra, it's fertilizer, folks. Stored energy. This is what we're kind of looking like now. All the new growth at the top. This is my wild one. Tons more shade, but look at how full cuttings. Should clean this up because there's no way I'm able to get inside some of these. It's crazy. I got one's growing like back there. I don't even know anymore on this. I gotta get these emptied. Mangoes. Oh. That one's gotta go. Thing, I had to tie it because they're growing on the wrong side. You really want to train these to go every which way. And you're supposed to just cascade over and create fruit. You can have them small like the other one or big like this one. Dragonfruit is crazy out here. Already forming. You can't grow guava out here. Who says that? Who says these things? Good soil. Check out the drip irrigation. It really does not take much water at all for these guys. These are some of my smallest emitters on this, 15 to 25 gallon pot? I don't even know. Look at the little legs. This is how they hold on in the wild. Dragonfruit's actually a vining plant. Alright, so that's dragonfruit. Dragonfruit does well in our zone 9 climate. Does well in a lot of the warm climates, 10s plus, 9s, 8s. They do really well. You definitely want to wear some sort of really good leather glove. They have spikes, and this is a cutting. Realistically, you can plant this. So there is, with dragonfruit, there in the middle is where all the nutrients are. That's how the nutrients are transferred. You can see a little lump in there. And then this outside can be damaged, this flesh and whatnot, but as long as that middle bit is alive and connected from the bottom to the top throughout the canopy and whatnot, it'll grow. It'll continue to grow. This can break off and whatnot. And these little spikes can turn into nodes for flowering and things like that. Each one of these has potential to turn into a flower and then to pollinate. There's A and B, there's different types of flowers. Some of them can self-pollinate. There's really a short window for dragonfruit to pollinate. You'll get a flower and then you have, I think, like 24 hours or so to pollinate it. There's a whole other spiel with dragonfruit where certain ones can pollinate certain ones. Some can pollinate themselves. Sometimes you have to go out and collect pollen from the same plant while there's a flower, while it's in male form, the sperm, and then you got to go and pollinate the female. Sometimes it's just a big flower and it can't reach each other, so you have to manually go out there, take some of that pollen, and then put it on the female bits. Take the male bits, put it on the female bits, collect it in a little cup, get a little brush or cotton swab or something, and you got to transfer it around. Some need 2 different types of dragonfruit, where one type will be a pollinator, one's the giver, one's the receiver. In the wild, though, these are vines. As you saw, little legs grasp onto the tree, and these will grow up into trees and things like that in the wild. Look at this long cutting though, it's crazy. I could cut around this, cut off all this flesh, and then expose the inner nutrient part. Is it cambium on these? It's early, I can't think. But expose the little branch and then let it. Did you hear that? Let it calcify. Put this into some soil after it calcifies. Give it a week or so. Put it in some soil, and then this will be its own dragon fruit plant. Crazy. It's that simple. I've had dragon fruit fall into other pots and it just grows. I'm getting a little bit dragon fruit crazy. I think maybe I'll give this away. Maybe I'll do a giveaway, and maybe we'll chit chat. We meet, chit chat, give you some tips, see what you're doing. Maybe I'll start doing that with some of this stuff. I don't know. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about something like that. Maybe I'll do if I get to a certain count of likes or something of that nature, and we'll start doing that. That's pretty much dragon fruit. It's super simple. You use the soil that I made, that I've shown you how to make plenty of times. You get it on a drip irrigation, and it doesn't take much, to be honest. I have the smaller one's out in full sun. This one gets more shade, but it's older, and it'll grow. I mean, it just needs a warm climate for the most part. When it gets really cold, it gets pretty brown, but it's not dead. It keeps going. I haven't really had to cover it up from the elements either way. Fertilization and things like that I'll get into, but for the most part all it takes is just some compost and things like that on top, and it really isn't fussy. The biggest thing is well draining. That's kind of the name of the game with everything I'm going to tell you. Well draining soil. Make your soil. Follow those other videos, and that's all there is to it. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions, concerns. How does any of this sound to you? Am I making sense? You know, sometimes when you know something or you're doing something, it's hard to get a perspective of what someone doesn't know. For me, what I try to do is show you what I do in parts, and then get you to build your brain around thinking about this stuff versus just doing it. Don't take my word for it. You know, make it make sense. If I can make it make sense, then you can think that way. Then you can recreate it on your own, and then you can maybe show me things. Maybe you build something, you add to that, and do something completely different than what I've been doing. You know, or whatever the case is. The main thing though is, what is it saying? You lead somebody to fishing, or teach them to fish, something like that. I want to teach to fish. I don't necessarily want to do the fishing for you. That's the best way to learn anything. That's like the way. But anyway, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about this. If you have any questions, concerns, or whatnot. One of these mornings, though, I'm going to get you out there to start gardening. Let's grow.